All right, y'all, welcome to the show. What a day yesterday. What a day yesterday. Well, I got all the updates in the world for you. So, Republicans are in the midst of having a mental breakdown. They are coping and seething super hard over Biden dropping out. Wait until you see some of the things they're saying. So I'm going to lead with that in just a second. Then I'll get to Obama's reaction, Kamala's reaction, what the process from here is going to be or what it's likely to be. CNN reacts in the moment to Biden dropping out. That's a hilarious clip. We have Rachel Maddow over at MSNBC. She reacts as well. I mean, you know this is going to be gold. You know this is going to be gold. And then later on, I'll give you the new fundraising numbers, which absolutely skyrocketed. We'll talk a little bit about updates coming out of Israel. Basically, Israel and Yemen's Houthis are now at war, and there's been a lot of bombing back and forth. We have the ICJ stepping in and saying something new about Israel. And then later on, the dumbest possible theory when it comes to what Democrats should do. Okay, Aaron Sorkin, the guy who, was behind the West Wing, he wrote a piece that is being universally mocked. And then I know this feels like it was 6 years ago already, but Trump was just shot. Like, he was shot not that long ago. And now I have some new mysteries that are piling up over that. So everybody do me a big favor. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps out massively. Costs you nothing at all. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. So let's start with this, y'all. Let's start with this. Republicans truly have been coping and seething about Biden dropping out for the very simple reason that they wanted to run against Joe Biden. And look, from their perspective, I understand that. It was getting to the point where it was undeniable, even for the biggest Biden stans, that his brain wasn't there anymore. Every single public appearance, you get 2 or 3 massive gaffes. You get at least 6 or 7, anyway. When he loses his train of thought and can't find it, he's got the eyes that look like nothing's going on inside of his head. He's got the open mouth, which looks like just a terrifying old man blank stare. It looks like, forget running for president. It looks like he shouldn't have the keys to his car. So I understand from a Republican perspective why you would look at that and say, I hope that guy's our opponent. I really, really hope that guy's our opponent. So let's start with this one. This is Trump's real-time reaction over on Truth Social, and he did quite a thread here. So he says, "Who's running our country right now? It's not Crooked Joe. He has no idea where he is. If he can't run for office, he can't run our country." All right, wait for it. That's going to be a theme, as you're going to see in other comments from other people. "Biden never had COVID. He is a threat to democracy." All right, so on that one, I have to say, I don't really understand the COVID trutherism coming not only from Trump, but from others on the right. Like, why would he lie about having COVID? It's not like he dropped out and he said, the reason I'm dropping out is because of the COVID that I had. He didn't say that, and that's not why he's dropping out. So I don't understand he never had COVID. Force him back in the race because he's lying about the COVID. He's not dropping out because of the COVID. So what, okay, anyway. "It's not over. Tomorrow, Crooked Joe is going to wake up and forget that he dropped out of the race today." He continues, "So we are forced to spend time and money on fighting Crooked Joe Biden. He posed badly after having a terrible debate and quits the race. Now we have to start all over again. Shouldn't the Republican Party be reimbursed for fraud in that everybody around Joe, including his doctors and the fake news media, knew he was not capable of running for or being president? Just asking?" I mean, we're getting to like historic levels of crying and whining when he comes out and says that. I mean, that's embarrassing, right? He's basically like, "Can we get a do-over? Can we please get a do-over? Because we thought we were running against Joe, and now this is unfair. You're switching him out at the last minute. I think we should get our money back for all the ads we ran and all the things we said." All right, he's still not done, man. "My debate with Crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the United States, was slated to be broadcast on fake news ABC, the home of George Slopadopoulos." He said George Slopadopoulos. Okay, come on. He's in rare form here. This is brilliant. "Sometime in September, now that Joe has, not surprisingly, has quit the race, I think the debate with whomever the radical left Democrats choose should be held on Fox News rather than very biased ABC. Thank you, Donald J. Trump." Okay, This is another one of those things that is really indicative of the kind of person he is. And honestly, you know where you see this the most? In his golf game. Everybody you talk to who's played golf with him will tell you, look, he's a cheater. And he's actually like a brazen cheater. It's not even close. He will hit a ball in the water and then drop it when nobody's looking and say that's it. He's thrown opponents' balls when they were sitting on the green. He's thrown them into the bunker. So in so many different ways, he tries to get a leg up, right? And in the debate with Biden, he had that natural leg up. The natural leg up was, look, this guy's brain is really not working well. I mean, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but it's true. Joe Biden is suffering. I don't think it's just regular old age. They already admit he's sundowning. Very possible it could be Parkinson's, according to many experts. So he had a natural leg up on Biden, and he was basically fighting Biden when Biden had one hand tied behind his back, right? So now up against Kamala, and this is kind of funny because it shows how he's, like, it seems like he's actually worried about Kamala, which is crazy. So in other words, you just get somebody who can speak in full sentences, and all of a sudden he's flipping out. All of a sudden he thinks it's not fair. And this is indicative of that. He's like, look, I don't want to fight Kamala. I don't want to debate Kamala on a network which is otherwise a liberal network, which is more sympathetic to the Democratic Party. Now I want it on Fox News because I lost my built-in advantage because Kamala doesn't have Parkinson's. And that shows the mindset, man. It is weakness. It's like remember when he ran in 2015 and 2016 and he dropped out of one of the Fox News debates and his reasoning was, Megyn Kelly is very, very unfair to me, so I'm not going to do the debate. And his people spun that as if it was a show of strength. But in reality, it was a show of weakness. He's like, I can't control. If Megyn Kelly says things about me that I don't like, maybe I don't have a good response in the moment. So I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. So that is deeply weak. And again, they are panicking, man. Trump continues here. He says, does anybody really believe that Crooked Joe had COVID? No, he wanted to get out ever since June 27th, the night of the debate, where he was completely obliterated. That was the big moment in Joe Biden's demise. That was the point in time when Joe was revealed for what he is, an incompetent man who should never have been the president. Joe Biden is not fit to serve. He is destroying our country. And finally, Crooked Joe just got knocked out. So now I'll have to do a fourth time. I'll do it a fourth time. So look, I mean, after his shooting, he went through a brief period where his face genuinely looked different, right? He looked like the fact that he almost died was sitting with him. He was emotional when he was walking out at the RNC. You could see it written all over his face. The beginning of his speech at the RNC was walking everybody through step by step what happened the day he got shot. That first part was actually good, but then of course he veered it into a ditch and rambled for another hour and went back to standard Trump talking points about how immigrants are evil. But whatever initial thing was happening in his mind where he was like more reflective, gonzo. Like just going gonzo. We were always going to revert to the mean. We were always going to go back to Trump's homeostasis, and his homeostasis is totally fucking unhinged and narcissistic. So here we are. But guys, we are just getting started. So this was Trump's reaction. Now let's go to some of the big name right wingers. So this is Jack Posobiec, and he's going to go on this whole thing about how, actually, guys, this was a coup. Just so you know, this was a coup. All right, let's watch.
I'm going to say what a lot of these folks aren't saying. I'm just going to say it. If you think that there is consensus among the people who want Joe Biden to leave, that they will support Kamala, Vice President Harris, you would be mistaken. And I'm going to say that because if they're going to come out and say all their little things on background off the record, but they're not going to be fully honest, I'm going to be honest for them. I'm in these rooms. I see what they say in conversations. A lot of them are not just interested in removing the president. They are interested in removing the whole ticket.
All right, so first of all, AOC and Bernie, how you feeling? They were the ones that were riding hardest for Biden as it became more and more apparent that he wasn't going to make it to Election Day. How'd that feel? I'm sorry, but the left flank Democrats in Congress have the political instincts of fucking mosquitoes. They're always reliably pathetic. And so how is that? Now, by the way, the thing she says about they're not going to line up behind Kamala, so far, they've all lined up behind Kamala, right? Now, maybe behind the scenes, they have different opinions and feelings, but to this point, nobody's had the balls to make a move to say, I'm going to challenge her and I want to actually be the nominee. So she's wrong about that. And then also, the idea that, like, she's saying something like, these nefarious people are saying these things behind closed doors. What's nefarious about it? What's nefarious about the perspective that, hey, the guy with Parkinson's shouldn't be the nominee, and then I support somebody other than Kamala because I think that person has a better chance of beating Trump? There's literally nothing nefarious about that at all. But these guys are going to take this clip and be like, see? It's a coup! It's a coup! You're going to love this. Here we go.
Your reaction, Jack Posobiec.
Wow, Charlie, it's amazing because I was just thinking about that live stream as Tyler was talking, and there was a lot, as I guess you would say, there's a lot of tea that was spilled on that live stream. And so AOC and those clips, by the way, have just become one of President Trump and JD Vance's best gifts for the next couple of months and really just a few weeks going forward here, because we're just about halfway through the summer. And then once the fall rolls around, that's really just a shootout to Election Day. Look, and certainly when early votes start going in, look, she said it exactly right. She said it exactly right. This was a coup. This was a takedown of the Democrat process. This was something that was done in the back rooms and shady deals. By the way, how are you going to...
Yeah, all these guys now are Biden's biggest soldiers. I must defend the honor of Joe Biden. He must stay in. This was a coup against our dear leader. Literally, like a month ago, every single one of you was saying he's cognitively unfit to be president. He has dementia and he should step down immediately. Now, all of a sudden, you can't replace him. How dare you? Coup!
How are you going to call Donald Trump the greatest threat to democracy when you guys just iced your own nominee in front of the whole world? Okay, it wasn't Donald Trump wasn't the one who got taken out. It was Joe Biden who was taken out. He was taken out by the elites of his own party. And they did it in front of everyone. They did it worse than Kristi Noem did to her dog. And so we saw this. Now you're not going to be able to put it back anymore. And so the things that Vivek has been saying, the things that Mike Pence has been saying about how we've all been saying that you're controlled by an oligarchy, that all of these things are connected behind the scenes, that there are power brokers that have direct control over our politicians. It's all open now. It's all completely open. But Donald Trump is not the threat to democracy. This machine is.
So now what? Biden was the general in charge against the oligarchy? No, he's part of the oligarchy, just like Trump is part of the oligarchy. What are we talking about here? Oh my God, they're grasping so hard. They're so pissed off that they can't run against Biden anymore. That's literally where all of this stems from, is they're angry that they can't run against Biden anymore. Guys, let me make this as simple as possible for you. He can't do it. He can't do it. He can't be president for another 4 years. He can't. Look, there was a doctor who was on NBC the other week who specializes in this, and he was like, he has Parkinson's. And I could literally see it from across the mall. I could diagnose him from across the mall. That's what one of the doctors said. So he has health problems. He has a tremendous pressure campaign from his own party. And so he decided, okay, uncle, they're right. I'm step aside. And you're calling that a coup? You're calling that a coup. By the way, some of them go deeper with the conspiracy. Like here, you don't have the hint of like, this was a literal palace coup in the sense that Biden didn't even know he was stepping down, but somebody pretended to be Biden and said he was stepping down, right? But some of the right wingers are even saying that, bro, with zero evidence. Nunsies. All right, more. Here we go. This is what I was just referring to. Mike Cernovich comes out and says, how do we know Joe Biden resigned? A post was made from his X account. By whom? Ah, yes. What I would like to say to all the right wingers is keep posting. Please, please, please keep posting. Don't stop. I want to see every single thought that pops into your head, every single fucking brain fart that you get down on paper or that you get down on the internet. I want to see it. I want to know exactly what's going on in those demented, decrepit things you call brains. What a joke. So I read somebody wrote an elaborate theory about how this definitely wasn't Joe Biden, and I'll explain why it wasn't Joe Biden. So first, you have one of the staffers who you pay off write something to test if he's going to get backlash, like when Biden said the other week, I'm sick. And then the next thing was like, of Donald Trump's nonsense, right? Or something like that. They were like, that was a trial balloon to see if there would be backlash for the staffer who said that thing and wasn't approved to say that thing. Then you pay off the staffer to post that the president is resigning, even though Biden had not agreed to resign. And they went through this whole, like, guys, look, you have phenomenal creative writing skills. Maybe you'd be good at writing fiction novels or fantasy novels, but you can't say shit like this without fucking evidence, bro. You can't do it. All right, here we go. McConnell. Unfortunately, the president, is that a McConnell voice? I don't know if that's a McConnell voice. Unfortunately, the Democratic Party has been busy in recent weeks trying to upend the express will of the American people in primary elections across the country. So, in other words, now the argument is, well, this is anti-democratic, and so I'm against it. Because, Republicans love democracy. It's not like they did January 6th. It's not like they did the fake elector slates. Okay, again, let me make this simple. In the so-called primary, North Carolina canceled their entire election. Florida canceled their entire election. New Hampshire was strong-armed to not be first in the nation, even though it's in their state constitution to be first in the nation, because they wanted South Carolina to go first to rig it up front for Biden. The entire media coalesced to shit on everybody not named Joe Biden and to coronate Joe Biden. They didn't give Marianne Williamson a chance. They didn't give Dean Phillips a chance. They didn't give Cenk Uygur a chance. When RFK was part of the Democratic Party, they didn't give him a chance either. So you had, again, the coalescing of the establishment to really snuff out any semblance of a true challenge. So they put their fingers on the scales up front and tried to hide Biden in his cognitive decline. Then Biden wins that incredibly skewed process. And now they come out and say, well, that was the will of the voters. That's sacrosanct. No. The reality is, back then, fingers were on the scales and they were hiding his cognitive decline and they rigged it 14 different ways. And so that was illegitimate. Now, if you want to say, hey, trying to take it from Joe Biden without him willingly step down, that's illegitimate also. I understand that argument, but Biden willingly stepped down. So that doesn't apply. So please spare me. And that's the other thing. All these people like the Jack Posobics and the Mike Cernoviches, all these people saying it's a coup. Again, you guys to this day openly support January 6th. You guys openly support the fake elector slates and fraudulent elector slates. Their words, not mine. We're internally in their own emails. They say, I think this is illegal. Okay, but let's go ahead with it anyway. So spare me. Okay, and then we have Speaker of the House. So this is Mike Johnson. If Joe Biden is not fit to run for president, he is not fit to serve as president. He must resign the office immediately. So this is what they think is their big gotcha. This is what aha! See? Now you got to step down completely. Okay, so first of all, he doesn't have to actually do that. If he says, I don't want to run so that if I win, I'm president for 4 more years, that's perfectly fine. And he can say, I'm going to stay in until January. So technically, they're wrong. He can choose to do this. But even if I grant you that it's a reasonable argument, and I do, by the way, I do grant that it's fair and reasonable to say, really, if you're not cognitively there enough to run, you're probably not cognitively there enough to govern. If you want to say, it's like, okay, well then Biden steps down and you get Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris is the one who's currently running for the Democrats now. And like, where's the big gotcha? Where's the big gotcha? To these guys, it functionally makes no difference if it's Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. They're both Democrats and they hate the Democrat. They act like Biden's going to step down and it's going to immediately go to Donald Trump or it's immediately going to go to Mike Johnson. It's not. So even if I agree with your point, it's like, okay, sure, whatever. He should step down. There you go. Then Kamala Harris is president. And then she's the incumbent going into the re-election effort. So they're just grasping at straws and it's absolutely pathetic. I mean, again, the overwhelming takeaway here is they are coping and they are seething and they are absolutely furious that Biden is not the one that they get to run against, right? That's what it is. And in fact, I even see some openly saying like, God damn it, I wish the debate didn't go that good for Trump because then maybe Biden would have been able to hang on and he would be the opponent. Props for honesty on that one, man. Props for honesty because that's how they really feel. Now, look, I've contended for a long time. Biden is definitely the weakest candidate now because of everything he's going through. I think Kamala is the second weakest, but make no mistake about it, her chances are way better than Biden's were. And even if you say it's a 50-50 race now, well, it was starting to look like 80-20 pro-Trump when Biden was in there. So we'll see what happens, but man, they are displaying very little confidence in their ability to beat Kamala Harris. You would think, they'd be doing an end zone dance over this, right? Kamala Harris, the one who got destroyed when she ran for the Democratic primary in 2020. She showed very little political acumen. And you guys should be looking at this like, oh, we'll take her on too. Like, I would understand if they look at somebody like J.B. Pritzker or a Gavin Newsom or a Gretchen Whitmer and thought like, now that's actually a fight and we might even be the underdogs. I can understand Republicans thinking that. But against Kamala, it's kind of shocking how the weakness that they're emitting right now. So there you have it. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.